All right, guys. Again, this did not go as planned. It's just been crazy busy. Been trying to get that grill done, grill built, a lot of other stuff I'm trying to keep up on. But I was thinking about some things when it comes to brisket. Now, I know a lot of people are like, this is your, you're new to barbecue, that kind of stuff. This is the chunk of meat to prove yourself on. And I mean, we go through everything to make this brisket perfect. I mean, we trim for 20 minutes. We make sure it's aerodynamic. We get the right amount of fat out. We cut out the decal. We trim the silver skin. We rub it right, and then there's temperatures. And I mean, a lot of process goes into making a brisket. And while I understand the theory and the logic behind all of it, you want that fat trimmed off, you want your smoke flavor to penetrate, you want your seasoning to penetrate. I get it. So I was just thinking the other night, it's like a lot of the meats, you want to keep the fat on, You hear your whole life, fat is flavor, fat is moisture, all that other stuff. Now, while there's a lot of fat in a brisket that just simply won't render, what will it do to harm the cook? Now, typically only trim, your one side. You have your nice meat side, your fat cap side. You're still leaving a 1/4 inch on that, okay? And you're seasoning it. So on the top of the brisket, you're really only cutting out. What you're doing is you're more so than anything, you're trimming all of the fat and, of course, the decal out of the point itself, okay? Not so much the flat. There really isn't anything in there. I mean, there's a little here and there, but you're mostly relying on your marbling. So I figured, you know what? I'm not gonna do a damn thing to this brisket. I'm going to pull it out of the bag. I'm going to hit it heavy with salt and pepper. I'm gonna just bring my temp up a little bit so I can help render that fat. I shouldn't have to worry about it drying out because it's completely intact. I have plenty of insulation going on. All that fat should just render. It should. It may be complete shit. If it is, I'll chop it up and make some burnt ends out of it. It doesn't make any difference. But I'm going to try it. I did a quick search on it just to see, people cooking just untrimmed brisket. I mean, just right out of the pack, man. Full packer, done, from bag to the grate, man. And I couldn't really find anything. So I figured, what the hell? Let's see what happens. Now I was gonna start this early in the morning. I even had ideas about brisket steak. Why not cut it long ways? About this thick and make long ass, Fred Flintstone brisket steaks where you have, your flat and your point and, cook them like that. They should render the same. They should cook the same. They should taste the same, except you'll have a bark around all of it. Just all sorts of shit, I don't know, But I figured, you know what? I'm just going to see what happens. I have a bunch of stuff to do today. We're going to do some hiking. I got some grills, some work on the grill to do. And so I'm just going to let the smoke fire do its thing. And I figure that's going to be the best thing because with the smoke fire, all the smoke comes from the bottom. So everything passes through the meat, around the meat, things like that. And, I think, like I've said a million times, I think that's why, you get such a, a good smoke flavor in comparison. It's not a stick burner, but it still makes some damn good food. So I'm going to rely on that. And what we're going to do is I'm going to hit heavy with salt and pepper because I want to counteract that barrier, so to speak, that I'm leaving on the brisket. And we're going to go fat down because that's where our heat source is. And we are just going to cook a brisket. I'm thinking right around 275, 300. And just let it go. Probably take it a little bit further than normal. Temp-wise, I'll probably start checking for probe tenderness around the 200 mark. Them higher temps takes a little bit longer for that brisket to get real tender. So, and while I'm not boosting it up too much, I think it's good. Chances are I could go higher, but I want to kind of keep an even playing field here just to see what the hell happens, honestly. So that's it. Let's do it. We have our packer. It's a 14-pound packer. There's a little silver skin on it. While I'm fighting myself not to at least trim the silver skin off, that defeats the purpose. This is no touch, buddy. No touch. There's our fat cap. Butcher even left us a little love. I don't care. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving all of it. And we are just going to hit it. So we're going to start with this side first, and I'm going hard. I want to let that salt and that pepper just flavor all of that. Let it cook in. The other side, I'm going to do the same exact thing on. We're going to get in here. It's the closest distance to the meat. I'm using my Moldon flake. This is quarter crack black. Same thing I always use. Give her some nice love on that fat cap side. And our meat side. Man, I'm gonna have to make another batch. I'm fighting some variables here. Last thing I want is no flavor. So we're gonna make sure we get that flavor. You know what I mean? All right, let me whip up a little more. All right, so I mixed up another little batch here. Equal parts, salt and pepper. That's what we got. Went a little hard on it, just like we discussed. And I'm gonna fire up the smoke fire, toss it on there, forget about it. All right, guys, we're rolling at 300. Got the B&B competition going in there. There's that big sexy piece of meat. Let's toss it on. Now, I just threw a probe in the flat just so I can get a gauge, because that's really the only thing I'm concerned with. It's not going to come off until, you know, it's probe tender anyway. But I'd just like to have a gauge, you know what I mean? So, that's all we got going on. Let's toss it on there. Let it do its thing. I actually did take a few minutes and clean out the smoke fire a little bit. Give her a little love. Me being a responsible griller. Oh, shit. There we go. Plug this guy in. You know what? I'm gonna move this. Come on over to this side here. That'll work. All right. That's a wrap. So I'm just gonna let that guy go. Throw our leftover S&P on there. Let it do its thing. Spread it around. Let's see what happens. Like I said, I'm gonna let it go. Once it gets to around that 200, I'll probably start probe tender, see what's going on. So, still going. Man, getting some beautiful color on her. Look at that. Doing its thing. Pulled it out, wrapped it up, let it rest. So it's been resting about 2.5 hours now. Let's see what we did. what I've noticed. Well, besides the awesome. Oh, I'm not even pointing the camera down. Holy shit, it's so early. Lower fat rendered a lot more than I thought I was going to. Beautiful bark on it. So let's just do this like this. Hold on a second. What's up, sweetie? Oh, okay. Just get into the thick of it. All right. Wow. She is. Nice and moist. See, that lower fat went rendered quite a bit. Still holds itself, and it just falls apart. Look at that. Man. See what happened. Wow. Super good. Very tender. Moist. Even after that rest. She was down to about 120 because I didn't wrap it up when I rested it. I covered it with butcher paper. So it cooled down quite a bit. Man. I'm pretty surprised, honestly, right now. Let's get into this. All right. See how this point looks. So here's that decal. It actually rendered quite a lot more than what I would expect it to. That right there is really all that's left of that decal. Man. Check that out. Wow. Really not at all the results I was expecting. It doesn't even look like I didn't trim it. A lot of that fat rendered out. Oh my, and that point is super good. Wow. That's that, guys. I mean, I was not expecting that. It turned out fantastic. I wish I wouldn't have, wish I would have wrapped it up. Just so it was still a little bit warm. But, man, I don't know. It's early. So my vocabulary hasn't quite woken up yet, but I'm really impressed. I can't even, can't describe it. I'm really surprised about where all the fat went. Pretty much rendered all the fat. Even the fat cap side, it's gone. Short of this little chunk right here, the decal piece, which is way smaller than what it was. It all rendered. So, I don't know. Take it how you want to take it, but I don't know. I think I might try some things. This was no wrap. This was no spritz. This was nothing. Maybe I'll utilize that fat a little bit. Maybe just do a silver skim trim. I don't know. Opened my eyes to a few things though. But anyway, all right, guys, that's it. I need to wake up. I need to drink some goodness here, and that's it. So that's all I got. Later.